Red Socks by Michael D. Vinsel. Story and illustrations by Michael D. Vinsel. That's me. And, okay. So, first I want to go with the dedications. Okay. This story is dedicated to the memory of Kenny Woodbury, Dudley Goss, Raymond Bigwood, and Merce Parker, all of whose stories planted indelible memories in me that made this story possible. I hope none will take offense. It is also dedicated to my living friends in New Hampshire and Vermont who know who they are but might not want their names mentioned here, who also have planted indelible memories in me. I hope they too will not take offense. I also want to acknowledge the contributions of Pinus strobus, the eastern white pine, Acer saccharum, the sugar maple, Alnus incana, the speckled alder, Acer nagundo, the box elder, Castor canadensis, the American beaver, Salvelinus fontanalis, the eastern brook trout, Aix sponsa, the wood duck, and Corvus baccharensis, the American crow. Okay. This story is fiction, except for the part told by Raymond Bigwood about Dudley Goss. They were real people, and that story was told to me in real life. Okay. Chapter 1. We come into the world. The first warm breezes of spring had exposed a patch of bare ground on the field 2 weeks before. This day, another warm wind further shrunk the snow cover as Emily stood, eyes closed, face skyward, and let the last of the day's sunshine glow orange through her eyelids. Just a small, stolen moment. In her mind, she made the comparison to the glass half full adage and muttered to herself, "Field half grass, spring soon come." She pulled herself together and turned to her task, the laundry. She brought in the linens, long johns, t-shirts, towels, until she came to the socks. The red socks. There was only one. She slipped the one-piece wooden clothespin off and held the lone sock up to the sky. "Oh, red sock, where is your partner?" She waited for an answer. Getting none, she said, "I see. Not my partner's keeper. I get it." She was fond of such jokes. She brought the heaping basket inside, folded the laundry neatly, and put it all away. Wondering to herself what becomes of socks that disappear, she added this red wool sock, one of the first pair she had knitted for Henry, to the box of other socks, whose partners had run off. Emily joked about socks running off, but she had no idea of how truly she spoke. Indeed, that is exactly what happened. This is how it happened. "Please don't go," my partner whispered in the darkness of our bottom drawer home in the wooden bureau. "I have to go. No, we have to go," I said, trying to keep my voice down. "I'm scared. Out there you'll end up washed up somewhere on a riverbank, or hung up on a snag, or torn to fuzz for a mouse's nest. I'm pleading with you," my partner said. "We've been over this before. I'm going. You're staying. You know the plan. On Sunday, you're going to help me do it," I said. Yes, I agreed that I'd help you. I did. But I will miss you. I know you've decided that, and why is it that I have absolutely no influence in the most dear relationship I have in the world?" my partner said. "I'm sorry, but I can't spend another day on Henry's foot. I just can't. I have to go, and I wish you'd come with me." That's what I said. The way I see it, I also had no power to persuade my partner. I wanted us to be together, to run away together. I just couldn't stay any longer. We are socks. We have no names, not even the small distinction of being left or right. We have no means of writing or speaking audibly. Surely there must be other socks out there, or garments, even animate beings, who might carry themselves through each day with stoic fiber, but who at night, in their drawers, envy the hats and scarves, as I once did. I'm sending out our story in silent prayer in hope that by some miracle it gets picked up and put into a medium that can be divined somehow, somewhere, by some being to whom it may bring a few woolen strands of comfort. Okay. My partner and I came into this world in peaceful circumstances. That would be 8 years ago now. Emily, our creator, in her rocking chair before the wood stove, knitted us over the course of 2 evenings from the best merino wool yarn. When I was complete, Emily placed me on the coffee table next to her chair. Okay, so this is the picture that goes along with that. That's Emily, and you can see the sock on the coffee table, and we see the chainsaw on the table there. Okay. The next evening, I watched as she, having knitted all day, tied off the final stitches and put my partner with me on the coffee table. We were folded snugly together and placed by her loving hands on the white inner face of carefully chosen wrapping paper. Those nimble hands folded the paper over us, taped and folded again until we were handsomely wrapped. It was many years ago now, but I still remember the gentle caress of her finger firming the tape that held the tiny card that said, "Happy birthday, Henry." Henry ambled downstairs to the kitchen and met the combined smells of coffee, bacon, maple syrup, and wisps of wood smoke that had escaped when Emily had fed the stove. "Happy birthday, sweetie," Emily said. "Oh," Henry exclaimed. He saw the beautiful gift on the coffee table. "Oh, look at that. I love the wrapping paper. Wood duck. Beautiful. Thank you." "Open it," Emily said. Henry carefully peeled the tape, trying not to tear the paper, and unfolded it, revealing the pair of thick, warm wool socks, bright red. "Oh, hon, they are wonderful. You made 'em just for me," he said. He held the 2 socks up in the shaft of golden light that gleamed through the kitchen window just as the sun broke the horizon. "Happy birthday," Emily whispered, holding Henry in a loving hug. "You're going to be cutting up at the Gilman lot today again?" "Yep. There's a bunch of 50-year-old white pine that'd just bust your eyes out to see it. Cuts like butter. It's a tight stand, so almost no branches, lots of D select. This is the last chance to get it before the heat sets in," Henry said. Henry is a New Hampshire logger. When he talks about the heat setting in, he means temperatures above freezing. Eastern white pine is his bread and butter. D Select, or more accurately D and Better Select, is the top grade of white pine lumber. Good stands of white pine are best cut in winter, because in warm weather a fungus spread by beetles grows on the undried logs of infected trees, staining the wood blue, a costly defect. Also, dragging logs over snow with a skidder is easier than dragging them over mud. So loggers try to get as much of a good stand harvested before spring arrives. As long as the weather is below freezing, the logs can remain stacked at the loading area of the site. Spring brings the rush to get the logs to the mill before mud season sets in. Once the logs are milled into lumber and dried, they are safe from blue stain. This morning was April 1st. The ground was still quite frozen. Henry sat down to the breakfast table and put on his new socks. Emily stacked 4 pancakes and 4 slices of bacon on a plate for Henry. Henry buttered while she brought the warmed pitcher of maple syrup from the wood stove. Henry poured it generously over the pancakes, staring mesmerized at the melting butter sliding, mixing with the syrup, pooling on the plate. "Indeed, I was born on April Fool's Day. Propitious beginnings, wouldn't you say?" Henry said. After selling his logs at the sawmill, Henry often joined the sawmill crew for cocktail hour, which began at 4:30 in the break room, a cabin-like structure of rough-cut pine on the edge of the premises. Inside the break room, always on the counter, was a copy of Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. The men made a sport of looking up random words, memorizing them, and incorporating them into their speech thereafter. There was a small liberal arts college in the town, and students and their parents were seasonal customers, buying boards with which to fashion bookshelves in dormitory rooms. The sawmill crew exercised the most obscure words for these customers' entertainment. "Oh, Henry, please be careful," Emily said. "Oh, hun, I will be. It's a flat piece. No big hills to speak of. Nothing's going to happen," Henry said. "I hope not," Emily said, aware that logging is a dangerous profession. Okay, that's the end of chapter 1. So I'll continue with chapter 2 soon.